Many of our clients are coming into Serbia and using the train from Belgrade to Novi Sad or Novi Sad to Belgrade. One of the questions that comes up quite often is, hey, I heard that train is going to be going to Subotica and then into Budapest. What is going on with that train, and when is the expansion going to be opening up, and what other future expansions are there coming up with that train? And when I tell them, they're pretty interested as to and surprised what they're actually going to be doing here with that train system. And today we're going to touch on the Serbian train system here, the high-speed train system specifically, and what is actually going on with that expansion into Budapest, and what are the future expansions going to be coming up in the future before 2030, or that's what they say, and where you're going to be able to travel with that train system. So as many of the people know, there is a high-speed train that goes from Belgrade to Novi Sad and back and forth. However, many of our clients that have said, hey, we're going to take that train system into Novi Sad, can you pick us up or have one of your drivers pick us up and get us to wherever we need to do? We have to right now let them know, hey, listen, that train does not actually come into Novi Sad. It actually goes to Petrovaradin because of what happened last year at the train station here in Novi Sad with the canopy collapse, and it's still closed to this day, unfortunately. Hopefully that is going to be hashed out in the near future. However, you still have that option. Petrovaradin is not that far away. It's about 10 minutes, honestly, to Novi Sad, if that. And they do have taxis there. They have some free services as well. And you still have the option of using the fast or the slow train as well. And so due to the subsequent delays of the hash out of what's happening with the Novi Sad station, if they're gonna rebuild it, like tear it down and rebuild it from the ground up, or if they're gonna do something else with it, re-engineer something and figure it out. That still has not been determined, and you still have a lot of protests and people out on the streets that are looking for accountability when it comes to the canopy collapse, which I understand it has taken the life of 16 people, which is an unfortunate situation. However, hopefully that can be figured out in the near future and come to an understanding, and so that the rest of the train system can, start with opening up those expansions. I don't mean to sound disheartening to those that are watching. If you lost a loved one in that canopy collapse, my condolences go out to you. But I'm just answering a common question that we get from clients when it comes to the expansion process. So the newest expansion, once this does open up from at the Novi Sad station, will be going to Subotica and then to Budapest from there, which is going to be from Novi Sad to Subotica is 107 kilometers. There was due to open up, the 20th of November, I believe, of last year. They're doing the, tests already. However, from what we've been hearing now, the new proposed date by the president, Aleksandar Vučić, is July 7th. Now, I'm not sure how that's going to work because that train still has to go through Novi Sad, and some of the clients we've worked with have asked us, hey, can they not just go from Petrovaradin to Subotica and bypass the Novi Sad station? No, that those train tracks do go right through the Novi Sad station and then continue to Subotica. And so then that is supposed to be July 7th of 2025. And then they're supposed to have the one from Subotica into Budapest set up for 2026, beginning of 2026 as well. And so one of the remaining uncertainties is that they don't know what's going to happen with the Novi Sad station, but we also need to understand what is going to be happening after that expansion is done. And that is going to be, in addition to this one, is that they're going to be expanding it all the way down to Athens, Greece, which I think is phenomenal. And so this is going to be the pan-European corridor. And one of the things that I'm super stoked for is it's going to take you down right through Serbia, right through North Macedonia, through Thessaloniki, and into Athens, Greece. And so for those that are traveling from Serbia, which is one of the biggest tourists that head down to Greece every year, it's going to be that much easier. It cut down on so much more travel, and as well as the border waits as well. Now, one of the things that they're not sure what they're going to be doing is how are they going to navigate those border controls? Are they going to have people on the train itself, and then doing your passport scans at that point and your custom clearances, or are they going to do a prerequisite check-in before you get onto the train? Those are things that still need to be hashed out. But what their current timelines with that is going to be is that they already have the trains or the train tracks set up from Belgrade down to Niš, I believe, but then they need to finish up through North Macedonia and then connect that into Greece, which I believe that they already have those train tracks in place. Nobody crucify me on it, correct me if I'm wrong, and if you know something that I don't know, then that's great. Now, in October of 2024, the ministers of Hungary, Serbia, North Macedonia, and Greece signed a joint declaration to advance this corridor from Budapest all the way to Athens, with actual signing taking place just before the Novi Sad Subotica opening, which is why it's still not opening right now. The current status and timeline from Budapest to Belgrade is, like I said, July 7th. Then they got Belgrade to Niš, and then to Skopje, which is in North Macedonia. Serbia is actively upgrading the Corridor X with speeds up to 200 kilometers an hour, expecting stage completion by the late of next year. And it does say that from Skopje to Thessaloniki and then Athens, they already have operational high-speed trains. But they're still figuring out what's going on with the borders. And so one of the good things is that if you're looking to go from Budapest down to Athens, that's typically going to take you about 14 hours, 14 and a half hours, I believe, just driving without any borders. Stops, especially at this time of the year. The border can be, 2, 3, 4 hour wait. I know when we went a few weeks ago, we waited on the way down about an hour and a half, 2 hours. On the way back, because we left early, we waited absolutely no time. So if you're going to be taking that train from Budapest to Athens, it's going to be down to about 7.5, 8 hours, which is substantial from your 14 and a half hour car drive. Now, the next steps that you need to look out for is that there's going to be EU funding and coordination through the 10T Western Balkan mechanism, which will be crucial for Serbia, North Macedonia, and Greece. Greece, being part of the EU, does get funding from them. And one of the things that I want to quickly touch on, being that I just went to Greece and we're talking to Greece, is you go into Greece and you find out, hey, they're EU, but the roads are completely worse. Their infrastructure is completely worse. Whereas here in Serbia, the roads, in my opinion, are much better. The infrastructure is much better. It makes me wonder, is the EU actually a good choice after going down there? But I digress. Let's get back into this. So if you're someone that is looking to come to Serbia and wondering about this new train expansion, we do look for the train expansion into Subotica and then into Budapest to happen first by early 2026, all the way into Budapest. And hopefully Alexander Vucic can figure out what's going on with the protests here, and the protesters can come to an agreement, and we can figure out all this political drama that's going on and move forward with that. And then when it comes to the line down to Greece, that is coming up in the near future as well. But being that there's 3 countries involved with that, you never know what's going to hold or what's going to withhold those processes from moving forward. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next one.